Hi everybody, my name is Jaden.
My name is Eli.
My name is Jason.
And my name is Caden.
And we are the Yahoo and the Torah YouTube channel.
And we are glad you're here. We appreciate your time, and we know that you could be doing a tremendous amount of things. I'm sure that one-eyed sleep snatcher on the wall has a lot of programming in it, and a lot of people are watching that, and that's why a lot of people went out and did a lot of stupid things. Snake bite included, right? They shouldn't do that. It's bad to get bit by the snake. For those with eyes to see and ears to hear, you guys know what I'm talking about, and I hope you guys are doing totally well. And we are working on what, gentlemen?
We are working on finding commands of the Torah.
Yes, and Eli, you have some pictures here for us of some stuff that we've been looking through, and go ahead and guide us through this. This is what we talked about. Actually, we didn't talk about it. It's not going to be posted yet. It will be. So we are doing this a couple nights ahead of this. So this is going to be Friday morning. So everybody, it is preparation day out there. I hope you guys are getting prepared for Shabbat. But we're recording this prior to that, so it's really not for us yet. So anyway, this is what we just talked about. You guys would have already heard this lesson. And run me through this, Jobs.
So we were going over the priestly garments about he had...
Zoom in as you
so
run through
on his shoulders, these were onyx stones with 6 names of the tribe of Israel on each side. And then on his chest here, he had a stone and a name inscription for each tribe. Each tribe got a special different type of stone. And we read that in last night's chapter in 28. And then he has a little hat with it has gold around it, and he has the blue in it, and it's supposed to be a turban on his head.
I think this is for the high priest. This was actually the high priest. We got
right because he has the shoulder pads and that, so it doesn't look too heavy.
Yeah, it doesn't look too heavy here. We got his censer. We haven't actually got to the censer yet. We got the ephod, which is it's almost like the overgarment, and then there's another piece undergarment, the robe, and the bells and pomegranates, which are all around this thing. I assume they make little clinking noises to know the person's alive. And then the fine linen tunic. So he's got a decent amount of clothes on. It's going to get pretty hot in that.
Yeah, he's also going to be real ching-lingy, right, with the bells. Yeah, they are bells, and they're hooked all around him to make sure that when he stops moving, he's probably dead.
One thing I'd like to mention here is the onyx stones. We actually do not know how large these were. It actually does not state. So unless someone actually found them or has an archaeological relic of them or something, we really don't know how large they were.
Yeah.
He's got to engrave 6 names on that. That just kind of looks like kind of small engraved 6 names on each side.
But we don't know how awesome these engravers are. And
they can be super small.
New school engravers can engrave stuff really super small. All right, Eli, next.
Next we have the altar.
All right, so we have the altar, and on the 4 corners of the altar we have horns. And that's the ultimate killing machine.
So
right
basically,
there.
put the animal in the center of that.
Yeah, animal goes in the center of it, right? And so we have the staves coming up on the side.
The center was what was the network, was the mesh, where basically the grill where you cook on it.
Yeah, and so this thing, I know they coated it in brass and things of that nature, but steel inside, whatever it was made of, is going to get super, super hot.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how that's going. I think that's so that they can bring the fire up underneath of it. I don't know exactly how it works.
It's got to be able to withstand
so.
heat. If you guys saw the other video where we had the end times hot water machine, we put bars under it and they all melted. So we even filled them with concrete and they still melted. So that's got to be something that can sustain the fire.
Yeah.
Here we have a version of the ark. I don't know what this fence is. They never mentioned a fence around it, so that might not be quite accurate.
Or the picture on the front either.
Yeah, I don't think there's supposed to be anything on the sides. That looks like a mountain maybe.
It's a Jew covenant.
Yeah. Here, I think would be a little more accurate. We still don't have the designs. I don't know what all these designs are. I think it was just gold box, really.
Yeah, and I don't know if the staves would be at the bottom of that. Wouldn't they be up a little higher?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, because they'd be just weirdly off balance, because you got a heavy lid up top. I think it'd be more in the center. And then here's what we have for the tabernacle, the temple. We have the fence. We have how it was built. We have basically the covering that went over it. I don't see any of the colored linen on these walls. It might be on the inside here. I think there should be on some on the outside as well.
Is that a pig in there?
No, those are little cows.
I think those are cows.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a sheep.
Oh, sheep. Okay,
That kind of looks like a pig, but I don't think so.
Pig from side. And are those the pets of the tribe?
No. Well, they were at one point, I assume, but now they're the sacrificial lambs. There's just some, I think, slaughtering tables. Then we have
There's the basin.
here is the bowl next to the guy here, and the cows is I think with a basin to wash hands. You have the altar, I think, where you did the sacrificing. I don't know what this kind of a ramp next to it is.
To get up in that thing, man.
It's probably to help lift it.
They're all short. Look how big the thing is.
Got some funky designs here. I don't know if that's actually biblically accurate, but that's kind of the closest we have to find here.
Okay, and so yes, we are continuing on, and we are at 49 commands right now. And so before we continue on, let me see if I can get this up correctly now this time.
You have
I'm
to.
going to throw it right here and go right here, and then when this thing doesn't let me down and goes kabang like this, then I will go right here. Okay, so Exodus 29, this is what we will do. And so 29:1. And this is the thing that you shall do unto them to hallow it, to minister unto me in the priest's office. Take 1 young bullock and 2 rams without blemish, and matzah cakes tempered with oil, and matzah wafers anointed with oil, of wheaten flour shall you make them. Okay, I got to move my other one up here. And you shall put them into one basket, and bring them into the basket with the bullock and the 2 rams. And Aaron and his sons you shall bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall wash them with water. Eli, you scroll the top thing as I'm rolling it.
Here,
No, okay, hey, that'll probably work. I'm on 4 here.
yeah.
And 5. And you shall take the garments and put upon Aaron the coat and the robe of the ephod, and the breastplate, and gird him with the belt of the ephod. And you shall put the turban upon his head, and put the holy crown upon the turban. You gotta roll up here,
Yeah,
son.
it's not like going.
Then shall you take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head and anoint him. And you shall bring his sons and put coats upon them, and you shall gird them with belts, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them. And I think the bonnets,
The turbans.
bonnets on them, and the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute, and you shall consecrate Aaron and his sons.
So mine says for the perpetual statute, mine is an everlasting law.
Perpetual statute, yeah, so everlasting law. That's, I think, the same thing.
Everlasting.
Yeah. And you shall cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the assembly, and Aaron and his son shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock, and you shall kill a bullock before YHWH by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. Now, we've gone over this before, but I mean, this is there's no other way to kill this thing except cut its throat, right? So I mean, they're or cut it like a vein in its neck or something of the sort and bleed it out.
Maybe a little more gentler way.
Supposedly, they have a way to calm the animals before they kill them. I don't know if that is true, but I guess the Yisraelites were the masters of the kill, where you calm a lamb, make it all happy as they can be, and then kill it. So anyway, it is brutal, and all I can say is thank Yah for his son, so we don't have to do this stuff. Okay. 12. Did I hit 11? Yes. And you shall kill the bullock before YHWH by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And you shall take of the blood of the bullock and put it upon the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And you shall take all the fat that covers the inwards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them on the altar.
So mine says the appendage on the liver.
Okay. The caul, so the appendage on the liver. And so that must be like the stuff that's hanging around the liver is my guess. 14, right? Mm-hmm. But the flesh of the bullock and his skin and his dung shall you burn with fire without the camp. It is a sin offering.
Mine's outside the camp, so.
Right, without the camp. Yeah, outside the camp. Okay, and you shall also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his son shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. And you shall slay the ram, and you shall take his blood and sprinkle it about upon the altar. And you shall cut the ram in pieces, and wash the inwards of him and his legs, and put them unto his pieces and unto his head. And you shall burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is an ascending smoke offering unto YHWH. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto YHWH. And so this is what we talked about before, is why would our Creator have all this stuff doing this? And we talked about it, right? It's a sweet smell. It's like us when we walk into a kitchen and smell cinnamon rolls or smell something like super good, and it's appeasing, right? And you shall take the other ram, and Aaron and his son shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. Then you shall kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb on their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. Now, guys, we played around in blood what are some characteristics of blood?
It gets wet. It can be sticky.
It gets really sticky. It
can
doesn't smell
It,
right.
yeah, because
It gets cloddy like. It gets
There's hardening up.
yeah, and especially after. Never mind, I'm not going there. There's a lot of there's a lot of clots going around. Let's just say, right, and it's not the good kind. So we have a ton of bad things with blood, right? And what does Yah say to do with blood if we have it?
Basically cover it up.
Cover it up because
Cover it up, he wants to-
and why aren't we to drink the blood?
Well, life is in the blood. There's like some special properties in the blood you should not be drinking.
So does that mean you should not get a blood transfusion?
I don't
think you drink blood when you do a blood transfusion, so I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think.
I think there's some religions out there that will not allow for a blood transfusion.
So if you're like bleeding open and you need blood immediately, what happens?
So the only thing is you would take somebody else's blood of the same kind, hook yourself up to it, and they'd start jamming you full of their blood.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
if you're gonna die,
What did they do back in
is
the
that a
day?
sin or not? Well, I mean, they wouldn't be able to do that back in the day. They
I
wouldn't.
guess they just let them bleed out. That'd be it.
Yeah,
That's a
that'd be-
good question.
It'd be game over, right? So,
I don't have an answer to that one. I don't have an answer. Is that okay to have a blood transfusion? I don't know. I mean, right now I'd say
Great questions, huh?
if I wouldn't do it now, is the way the world is.
No, you don't want to go to the dudes with little snakes going up the poles?
No, I wouldn't say get a blood transfusion. The blood is kind of a little corrupted right now.
Yeah, you would not definitely.
Back a couple years ago, I mean, if you were bleeding out, you needed blood. I would say probably go save your life.
So I'm just saying a fact. I mean, please don't strike me. I'm just saying that they will not accept the blood of folks nowadays. I mean, back in my days, my mom used to sit in this little chair and she would have a blood drive, at least like every 30, 90 days or something like that. We would go and we would sit there, and the only cool thing about this whole thing is I get a plate of cookies and orange juice. But
Sounds good.
it was creepy because this is how they do it in the United States, is you go and you sit in a chair and they pull you back and they give you like a ball thing to like squeeze on, and then they jam you. The problem with me is I have really super deep veins, and so I could never even give blood like that. And every nurse I've ever jammed up, you guys have seen it, they cannot find my veins, and so I would be a terrible guy that had to have needles in my veins all the time. I can't find them. So that goes back to the question, Eli, Nicole, anyone.
I think it's okay.
Blood is
if
like
you're
a
not
very
drinking the
blood is
blood.
a sacred thing. Blood is a very. But
It is
I
a
don't
very-
have an answer because back in the days they didn't have the technology.
I
they
think
didn't
you're
have
saving
the,
someone's life.
They didn't
It could be
have
all right.
technology. They didn't have ability to.
But you're corrupting
Yeah,
blood.
you have like people have their own blood types, right? People have their own. Everyone is special with their own type of blood, right? I mean, there
Right,
might be
there's
have
A,
O plus,
B,
but
A, B,
but
C,
everyone
or
is unique to you. There's
My wife says there's no C's, so there's A, B's,
A, B,
O's,
O.
AB.
There's something else.
O positive,
Yeah.
O negative,
RH.
RH
I
or
don't know if that
something of the
means
sort.
RH is what.
So, but if you put a B blood goes into A, there's like some kind of blood that you can put into everybody, and it's just okay.
Y'all gave-
But if you put the wrong kind of blood in somebody, it like kills them up. It's like no good.
Yeah.
So the question is, does anyone know?
No.
I don't have an answer. I mean, they didn't have the technology back in the days, or they would be sitting there with blood transfusion. I assume if like their warriors were down and someone needed blood, I would assume they would patch him up and have the person next to him give blood. But now we have technology to do that.
Back in the days, you wouldn't be able to tell what kind of blood it was. You would not
That's
know.
right. They didn't have the technology to do any of that, but now we do. So I don't know. Blood is a sacred thing, and I guess that's all I have the answer for. Is blood is a sacred thing. I don't know if y'all would allow that or not. I would say right now, as the state of the world is in, don't do that. But
You might take in some blood that clots you up or something.
yeah, there might be some problems.
I don't have an answer for it either.
If anybody has
All right,
any
here,
answers,
let's take
let us
a vote. Yeah, let's take a vote here. Shall we allow transfusions in our tribe?
No.
Amongst ourselves, or
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter whose blood it is. Would you take a shot of blood?
I mean, if like
If it was from
someone
our
here
family member,
someone
yes.
here was needed blood and I had the same blood type, I would give them blood to keep them alive, right? That's the natural human thing, is to want to save the people you love. Is it the right thing to do? I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Yeah, I don't either. Anyone out there? All right. Okay, so let's roll. What are we at? 20? Eli, do you
Yeah,
have an
actually,
21. Okay, and you shall take of the blood that is upon the altar, and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him, and he shall be hallowed, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. All right, so that's actually where I was going with the entire blood thing. Is this is a little strange. I mean, it seems strange to us. They're taking like some blood, right?
putting,
They're
like,
sticking it on
putting
your
on
ear,
cells.
sticking it on your toe. They're sprinkling it everywhere. I mean, there's going to be like sprinkles of
weird.
blood. It is odd.
Maybe it's some kind of like purification thing or something because like you do that for sin offering or something. So
Well, it's the blood, and that's the blood of our Messiah is the only thing that could save.
yeah, so maybe like putting it on them was significant to that. Maybe putting like washing themselves in it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, it sucks. You're
I-
going to be around. You're going to be in blood all day long.
It's
You're
terrible.
going to be slaughtered. Slaughtering it was one thing. Actually getting it. I mean, I've cut it to where it like goes all over us, like in our face and stuff. Especially when you use a what saw do we use on that one thing?
Hacksaw?
No, we used a hacksaw.
We used a sawzall.
Sawzall.
When it was frozen.
Yes, we used
For
a
those-
sawzall on
A
a
sawzall also has a
frozen
name called
cow.
the reciprocating saw.
Reciprocating saw, yeah. So it's a little
It's-
weird. But anyway, we're just trying to get to the whole bottom of this blood thing, and it is weird, right? The sanctification, cleansing part of this involves killing an animal, grabbing its, draining its blood, and then sprinkling it everywhere. So here we go. 22. And you shall take of the ram the fat and the rump and the fat that covers the inwards and the caul above the liver and the two kidneys and the fat that is up on them and the right shoulder, for it shall be a ram of consecration. Okay, so here
It
we
says
have,
right shoulder.
it says right shoulder.
It says right thigh.
Mine says too. Is
Right thigh. It says right thigh in the NIV as well. And the king. Yeah, I don't know. These guys, shoulder, thigh. I mean, what?
Maybe for an animal, it's pretty
the
similar.
king says shoulder.
Huh?
The king says shoulder.
King says shoulder. So the king says shoulder, and everyone else says thigh. Okay, well, we'd probably smote it down. So why we shouldn't be offered sacrifices? Because
Yep.
we can't even like
I mean,
get the
One thing
translation.
I'm noticing is this is very close to Sefer. King is
King.
only like the names are
It
changed.
came from the same stuff, right? So they use the same
Ro-
sources.
Text.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Septuagint.
But it doesn't have like the thou
The
and.
Septuagint's older than the Masoretic text that was used for Sefer.
Masoretic.
I don't know about
Okay. Okay. So here we roll, and so we're off to 23. But anyway, before we go into that last one that we just did, the right shoulder. So it's whatever it is, the right thigh or shoulder,
the
whatever
right
it
side
is.
of the body.
So we just split the animal up, right? And so we basically took the ram, the fat, and its buttocks area, and the fat that covers the inwards. So what would that be? The fat that covers the inwards. If we've slaughtered cows before, and so the fat, I don't know, what would that be?
So after you go through the skin, is it that? Oh no,
I don't think it's the white stuff.
There's a little layer of skin.
Maybe.
Because there's skin and there's a layer of skin that's connected to it. I think that's the fat.
But there is fat, though. I mean, in Obi, the cow that we have that we killed, there is fat. So I don't know what that would be. But anyway, there's certain, and the liver and the kidneys and the fat that's upon them. So all the fat that is surrounding the inwards, and then one piece of it, like the right thigh or shoulder, whatever it is. And so it's a separate, different kind of a sacrifice here. It's the ram of consecration. So anyway, they're separating it. Continue on. And one loaf of bread, and one cake of oiled bread, and one wafer out of the basket of matzah that is before Yahuwah. So anyway, we have what? Now we have cows and we have bread.
Bread.
Right? And so Yah's having kind of a meal of smelling stuff. But the problem is, if you put the bread in there, I don't know how they put the bread in there. You're just going to burn it. It's going to start smelling really bad, like when we burn stuff. So I don't know if they maybe just cooked the dough up and they made it sweet smelling bread, or do they burn it to a crisp?
It
And
doesn't smell very good.
Yeah, it doesn't smell good. And if we're created in the image of Yah, I'm sure we have the same kind of senses as far as nose smelling and things of that nature, is my thoughts. Okay, 24. And you shall put all in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahuwah. And you shall receive them of their hands and burn them up upon the altar for an ascending smoke offering, for a sweet savor before Yahuwah. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. And you shall take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration and wave it for a wave offering before Yahuwah, and it shall be your part. So this is yet another piece, right? But this part of the offering doesn't have any of the innards or any of the other stuff. It's just the breast, which would just be the chest area of the cow. And I don't know how, it'd be so interesting to see this go down. It'd be gross, but it'd be interesting. And this is only interesting to us because we've slaughtered cows. Okay, 27. And you shall sanctify the breast of the wave offering and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron's and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Yashrael, for it is a heave offering. It shall be a heave offering from the children of Yashrael of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto Yahuwah. And the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, to be anointed therein and to be consecrated in them. And that son that is priest in his stead shall put them on 7 days when he comes into the tabernacle of the assembly to minister in the holy place. And you shall take the ram of the consecration and seethe his flesh in the holy place. Now there's that ram of consecration again. We've taken out chunks of him. And it's talking here about seethe his flesh.
Why does cook his flesh?
Right. Boil, seethe. So I don't know which flesh are we talking about. I mean, because there's flesh all over this stuff.
Is it just the meat that's left? Okay, let's see.
I don't think it's the skin.
Taking the inner part, so we have like the front legs, unless the shoulder. So we basically have like the legs left.
Seethe his flesh. How much flesh? What kind of flesh? All right.
So you also have around the cow as well, around his ribs and stuff.
Yeah. Well, they did the chest. I mean, it said
his chest, but you have the bottom area.
Right, the top by the spine.
The rump.
Well, the rump already went off on the other one.
But
right. All right. So anyway,
the tail.
The tail. We could do the tail, I suppose. Yeah. And Aaron and his son shall eat the flesh of the ram and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. So there's some bread that didn't get burned up. So we know that they probably just used it, in baked bread, regular bread. And they shall eat those things wherewith the atonement was made to consecrate and to sanctify them. But a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. And if aught of the flesh of the consecrations or of the bread remain until the morning, then you shall burn the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. Okay. So I guess I don't know if these guys are really fat. These guys might just be really fat people. Because, I mean, they're eating a lot. There's a lot
It's
of
like
food
24/7
here.
eating.
Yeah, and it's a consistent thing,
I mean,
right?
Well, there was a lot of Levites to feed, so.
Yeah, but they had a party with some of these animals. I mean, there's a lot. So, I mean, this is...
Okay, so when someone brought an animal, they slaughtered immediately, or they just like...
They might have had a courtyard where they kept them.
there had to be some sort of chain of command or something of the sort. I mean, there had to be like people standing out there with their cows for miles on end
Like
or
a little
something.
Or they brought them and they had like a crowd where they kept them. They said, "All right, sacrifice time."
I mean, you're going to know at the end of the day how many animals can you slaughter here, and you're going to be looking out at like 4:30 or something. You're going, all right, I can only get another 40 cows in or something, or rams.
I mean, okay, how many sons do we have here? Is the thing. It's
They've
like,
also-
how many people can cut?
Each group only did it for a week. So
Right.
they traded off weekly.
Right. Yeah, but there's, I
I
mean,
wonder if they
during
enjoyed it. I wonder if they enjoyed it.
killing animals.
Like eating the. I mean, killing animals was like a normal thing back then. They had to kill animals to eat.
Well, everybody should. Their grocery stores weren't even invented till like 1946.
There were like marketplaces where they could.
Right, but like you wouldn't. I mean,
You wouldn't buy a pound of hamburger.
You might.
There might
You
be,
might look back and they might just grab it right off the cow or something of the sort as this mooing. Okay, here we go again. And so we are 35. And thus shall you do unto Aaron and to his sons according to all things which I have commanded you. 7 days shall you consecrate them. And you shall offer every day a bullock for a sin offering for atonement. And you shall cleanse the altar when you have made an atonement for it. And you shall anoint it and sanctify it.
break it like the pressure washer.
Yeah,
Clean that off because that gets bloody and nasty.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's going to be a bloodbath. All the way down to cleaning the whole thing. It's going to
They
be
were like
red
mad
water.
killers, mad eaters, and mad cleaners.
Yeah, do not mess with the Israelites, dude. If they killed this many stuff, they could definitely wipe out villages. No problem.
Break out the steak knives.
Yeah. 7 days you shall make an atonement for the altar and sanctify it, and it shall be an altar most holy. Whosoever touches the altar shall be holy. And this is that which you shall offer upon the altar: 2 lambs of the first year, day by day, continually. The one lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at the evening. And with the one lamb, a 10th deal of flour mingled with the 4th part of a hin of beaten oil, and the 4th part of a hin of wine for a drink offering. Okay, so there's wine in this as well. So it's not just
They weren't thirsty.
They got drinks as well. And the other lamb you shall offer at evening, and shall do thereto according to the oblation of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof, for a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. This shall be a continual ascending smoke offering throughout your generations at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahuwah, where I will meet you to speak there unto you. And I will meet with the children of Yashrael, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify the tabernacle of the assembly and the altar. I will sanctify also both Aaron and his sons to minister to me in the priest's office. And I will dwell among the children of Yashrael, and will be their Elohim. And they shall know that I am Yahuwah Elohim, that brought them forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, that I may dwell among them. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Okay, gentlemen, that concludes our wrap-up for this chapter. Any comments?
Not for us. Not for Levites. The future Levites, yeah, it's definitely a thing you should study and know, because you might be a Levite one day having to do this.
Yeah, we might need to like bring back fire or something like sacrifices. I don't know. I hope not with Yahushua. Jade, take me through what it means to follow Yahushua.
Follow Yahushua.
Who is Yahushua first?
Yahushua is the son of Yahuwah. As many people know him, most people know him as Jesus. That was not his true name because there are no J's in Hebrew, but his name was Yehoshua or Yahusha, something closer to English Joshua. He died for our sins. This is the final lamb because the sacrifices weren't right anymore. They needed redemption of sins. So Yehoshua died for a true redemption of sins, true forgiveness. And following him is believing that he died for our sins, that he died for our iniquities of breaking the Torah, and we have redemption in him. And we must follow what he says. If not, there's no reason to believe in him because we don't need redemption if there's nothing to sin against.
Eli, what did he teach and what did he believe, the Son of the Most High?
He said, if you love me, keep my commands. And his commands were his father's commands, which was the Torah, which we are going over.
He only had 2 commandments. That's what the Christians will say.
Those are the 2 greatest commandments from the Torah, that everything in the Torah is part of. All these sacrifices, honor Yahuwah with all your heart, everything about that is part of the Torah, is loving Yahuwah. And the other part is about honoring your neighbor.
So you're saying the very first commandment is to love our Creator, Yahuwah, with all our heart, mind, and soul. And you're saying the second commandment is to love our neighbor as ourselves.
Those are the greatest commandments.
Those are the greatest commandments. And all the Torah is what?
It hangs on that. Like, those are all those are the parts of the Torah.
Okay. Caden, if I am sitting here in abomination to our Creator, how do we get in abomination with our Creator? What are some things that we could do that we could anger the Creator, and why?
There are several abominations. The way to anger our Creator is to disobey what he says, is to not do as he had told us to do, which was keep my commands and all of his commands that are in the Torah, right? We have basic things.
But Jesus died and put all the law on the cross, son.
He said he didn't. There's only one, Yeshua never lied. He says he did not come to destroy the Torah. If you read the end of Luke and the beginning of John, he says that all things he came to fulfill what the Torah had said, which was to fulfill a prophecy. Which
fulfilled. It's
because
done.
Moses had a prophecy towards the end of Deuteronomy where he said that Yeshua would come to save them from their sins, and that was the Torah.
And the rain is here, guys. And I guess this calls it a wrap up. So it's getting really super loud, real fast. That's it. If you guys can still hear us, we love you guys. And it got super loud.
Shalom.
Read your Bibles.